Good morning. Hi, I'm Shari Humes, in case they don't know your friendly face. I kept thinking this morning of the song, When I Meet You Here, I see your eyes shining bright. And I look at each of you, and I want to congratulate you for making it in today. Yeah, so it's good to be out and about and just seeing the light in each other's eyes. There's something so special about that when we've been kind of holed up in our homes for a few days. So it makes it extra special. So welcome to Unity, and today our minister or our speaker is Connie Munro, and her talk title is "This is What I Needs." So we thank Connie for being here. And our music ministry is the dynamic duo of Cheryl and Kate, which is awesome. Yeah. We bless those in our community that each be warm, fed, and enjoy kind companionship. Let us extend the same wishes for those around the world and ask for peace and safety for all. This is in this loving, peaceful presence, each of us can ask for what is individually desired as well. Take a moment to think and feel your innermost prayers. Hear the still, soft voice within. If there's someone that you would like to pray for and speak their name aloud, feel free. We give thanks because we know that our prayers are answered, and so it is. Now, in this quiet, we'll join in nurturing meditation. Begin by taking a few cycles of deep, slow breaths. As you do that, feel your body relax, your thoughts quiet. Heart open and receptive. That's a nice beginning for nurturing meditation. The nature of Spirit Divine is loving, supportive, patient, and omnipresent. Spirit is always present and involved in the creation of your life. Every cell of your body is fueled by the love of Source. Breathe in. All things, everything, anything is possible. Dream it, feel it, believe. Spirit Divine delights in manifesting. So have fun with your imagination. Breathe in. Ask, what if? What if I? Or you could say, Dear Spirit Divine, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if I... Feel eagerness for new expressions of life unfolding for you. Perhaps you could say, Dear Spirit, I want to explore how to feel with appreciation your co-creation with Spirit. The answer or response to your questions or desires may come quickly, distinctly, or you may find you're waiting. It's okay. Trust that your desire is in process. You can remember that all things, everything, anything is possible. Dream it, feel it, believe. Breathe in. One heart, one mind. We are one with Source. Ask. Feel it. See it. Believe. Believe you can create the life you desire. Spirit delights in creating with you. And so it is. Amen.
I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to change the song I was going to do. It came to me, I have to do this song today. And it came during the meditation, so I'm just going to listen to what God's telling me right now. And so I'm changing my song to You Needed Me. I woke up thinking about this, and it's rarely I talk between things, but it's important. I woke up today thinking about how we are needed by each other, and how we need God, and how God needs us. How God needs us to work through. We may not know it, but we are God's conduit as well. It's symbiotic, our relationship. And so here, because of that, and because the message today is about need, I'm going to do Anne Marie's You Needed Me. Hope I remember everything. I cried the tears, you wiped them dry. I was confused, you eased my mind. I sold my soul, you bought it back for me and held me up and gave me dignity. Somehow you needed me. You held my hand when it was cold, when I was lost. You took me home. You put me high upon a pedestal, so high I could almost see eternity. You needed me. You needed me. And I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's true. 'Cause I needed you. And you were there. And I'll never leave. Why should I leave? I'll never go. 'Cause I finally found someone who really cares. When I was lost, you took me home to face the world out on my own. Yeah, you did. You put me high upon a pedestal, so high I could almost see eternity. You needed me, and that feels good. You needed me. You needed me, and you were there, and I'll never leave. Why should I leave? I'll never go. I finally found someone who really cares. You gave me strength to stand alone again, to face the world out on my own again. You put me high upon a pedestal, so high I could almost see eternity. You needed me. You needed me. You needed me. You needed me.
Just a special thanks, Cheryl, for just going with your heart on that, because I really think it's appropriate for this morning. So it's good to see you folks again. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be with you, and both to see those of you here and also to appreciate those that through the gifts of technology are with us somewhere out there. And please know that you're not forgotten. How fortunate we are at Unity of Bellingham to have Reverend Frank and Diane here to join in with us today, but also just for all that they brought to this congregation. And we've got a lot to be grateful for here with the health of a growing congregation and the generosity with which people share their time and their treasure and their talents to bless the work that goes on. So it's a good day and a good time to be connected with Unity of Bellingham. So the holidays are all wrapped up. Christmas tree's down, everything's away till next year, And it's time to take a big breath and consider fully the question of what individually and collectively we have on the horizon in 2024. And it's a lot. There's a lot going on locally, there's a lot going on in the country, internationally, and a lot going on in our lives. And, there's all the scheduled matters that we have to attend to. And of course, there are all the things that happen that we don't anticipate. Accidents, illnesses, snowstorms, all the things that come along in life that don't reflect our intentions. And it was with those thoughts in mind that I chose to call my talk this morning, "This is What I Need." And some background's probably helpful on that. My serious inclination to spiritual education early on, it came with being introduced to the writings of Joseph Campbell. And I don't know if y'all remember back in the 80s, the television series, The Power of Myth. But Bill Moyers did a series of interviews with Joseph Campbell. And I believe it was 6 segments, might have been a little bit more than that. But Campbell was ill at the time and actually passed not very long after that was recorded. He was a renowned expert in mythology. And interestingly, the interviews were recorded at George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch, which seemed appropriate since the movie Star Wars was really big at that time. And addressed the whole question in its own way about the role of mythology as a metaphor for understanding the forces of good and we don't talk about evil that much in Unity. Let's say the good and not so good. The content of these recordings really impressed me, and what I remember about it is I was pestering all my friends to watch this. Campbell was a professor at Sarah Lawrence College, and he wrote several books about mythology, but probably the most famous and also, I know from experience, the easiest to understand is the one called The Power of Myth. I recall at that point in my life, I hadn't been introduced to Unity yet. But about a year or so later, when I was introduced to Unity, it just seemed to me a natural transition from my interest in Campbell's work to embracing the teachings in Unity. There was an underlying theme to what Campbell had to say. And it was something that made him popular with some people and absolutely abhorred by other people. And what it was is that, as Campbell put it, it's not just the other guy's religion that's a mythology. All religion is mythology. And, the way to understand mythologies is through seeing them as metaphors. In other words, mythologies are not literally true, but they're very helpful if properly understood. So what's a myth? By definition, it's a traditional narrative. Usually it involves supernatural or an imagined image of persons not present. A myth embodies popular ideas on natural phenomena. And if you take those narratives collectively, it's what we call allegories. Right? So the relevance of all this to the topic that I've come up with today, "This is what I need," is that I was recently flipping through Facebook, which I don't do that often, and I saw this piece that somebody had posted from Joseph Campbell. And it brought me back to how influential Campbell had been on my personal spiritual journey. The discussion was in a book, apparently, that Campbell had written called Reflections on the Art of Living. And in it, he referred to the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. And what got my attention was Campbell speaking of his own breakthrough in understanding. And what he said was, Nietzsche was the one who did the job for me. And what Campbell was referring to is that at a certain point in the German philosopher's life, the idea came to him of what he called the love of your fate. The love of your fate. Interesting words. Campbell explained this as, whatever happens to you in life, you should claim it. Essentially affirm it with the thought, this is what I need. And as we move into 2024, we bring ourselves to whatever happens this year. Some events and occurrences we'll have individually or collectively, we'll have a hand in shaping them. But others may be totally beyond our ability to control. But while we can't control all that occurs, we have some power to bring our circumstances to how we respond. Campbell was influenced by Nietzsche. He makes it clear that in the midst of whatever occurs to you, you need to hold positive thought. And it's part of the reason that the whole movement in New Thought is often thought of as positive thinking at the roots of it. And even when what occurs might look and feel like a train wreck, and I think we've probably all lived long enough to have experienced some kind of train wreck in our life at some point. But the thing is that if you can respond to the event as though it were an opportunity and a challenge, although you might not in any way be able to change what is occurring, but you will find your own inner strength. And another way of saying that is that you can bring love to the moment rather than discouragement, and effectively, then any disaster that you can survive is going to be one that provides an improvement in your character, in your stature, and in your life. And that'll happen because you'll find yourself in a time when your spontaneity and your creativity, your very own nature, will show itself. Last Monday we celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and a friend had given me a little day calendar of meditations for at Christmas time, and the one for MLK Day was a quote from Dr. King that said, "But I know somehow that only when it's dark enough can you see the stars. Only when it's dark enough can you see the stars." And I believe that MLK was talking about the same process as Campbell is referencing. That is, if we look back on our life, the moments that seem to be great failures are the incidents that shaped the lives we have this day. And of course, it's not just the incident itself. The truth of it is it's how we responded to the incident. And we can survive a lot in the life journey that we're all engaged in if we can hold to the understanding that it's a journey of wholeness, and that's where we're going. Sometimes that means transforming or releasing our inner demons. Sometimes it's simply developing our soul power of will and making conscious choices. But it all involves moving towards a deeper connection with our spiritual self. And when I speak of spirituality in this way, it's not as if we're looking at spirituality as a separate department in your life. Anything we do that demonstrates vitality, being awake, being aware, in other words, coming alive to our true nature, is going to benefit us in the long run. in the unity tradition, we call this living from the Christ within. Getting in touch with your spiritual center. And that's how we demonstrate our spirituality. We actively teach in unity that when we study and incorporate our 12 soul powers and remain aware of how we're using them to shape our lives, that we're influencing a powerful force that will give us a positive outcome. So at the very least, we'll learn from the challenges with which we're confronted. Now, I know there may be folks here or visiting us from online that are not familiar with what we mean in unity by our 12 powers, although I understand there was a course held here recently, and I'm delighted to hear that, because the subject of 12 powers, as much as I study unity, I keep coming back to it. But for the benefit of those who aren't familiar with it, it refers to the 12 faculties of our mind. And these powers are within each of us. They're symbolized in the Hebrew Bible by the 12 tribes of Israel. They're symbolized in the Gospels by the 12 apostles. And faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, renunciation, and life, each represented by one of the Jesus' chosen disciples. And it's in my mind, it's really important that we never forget those basics about what we have to work with in order to create our life. The characterization is part of our mythology, right? I mean, it's really important to understand that to call it mythology is not to say that it's untrue, but also to understand that mythology is never literally true. Rather, the power in the myth is found in living the metaphor. And there's a metaphor for which the powers stand. And it's in using our unity teachings to live life more fully that we demonstrate our connection to spirit. And with that, we can say yes to life, even when it's a pretty tough road. And basically, we can find the sacred in every day. It's not limited to any one religious tradition, but there are many teachings in unity that can truly help us. And there is, as I'm fond of saying, for many reasons why the founders of unity called the movement they started the Unity School of Practical Christianity. It's a practical way to deal with the things that will confront you in your life, not just this year, but all through your time in this realm. Unity teaches us to live in the present moment, not to obsess about the past or worry about the future, and to know that all we need is right here, right now. And by recognizing the dimension of life that's not obvious to us, and being willing to go into the silence to seek guidance, we can find the resources to navigate the difficult times and to enhance the good times that will come to us in this year. 2024 is upon us, so let's make the most of what it offers. Blessings to you all.